Today, we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating idea, the selective memory advantage.
So let's get real for a second. Do you ever lose your keys or, walk into a room and just completely blank on why you're there? Maybe someone asks what you did over the weekend and your mind is just static. If any of that sounds familiar, you probably know that frustrating, sinking feeling of having a leaky memory. And society, well, it's quick to label that as being scattered or lazy or worse. But what if I told you you're not broken? What if that mind of yours, the one that feels like a browser with 100 tabs open, is actually running on an advanced cognitive operating system? The latest psychology suggests that your forgetfulness isn't a flaw at all. In fact, it's a feature.
Okay, so let's completely reframe this. Forget the idea that your brain is processing less. We're going to explore why it's actually processing way more information than the average person's, not less, more.
Now, there's a psychological term for this, and it's called low-latent inhibition. All that really means is that your brain's preconscious filter is set to wide open. See, most people's brains automatically tune out stuff that seems irrelevant, but yours takes in a massive amount of sensory information, treating all of it as potentially important. It's like you're processing terabytes of data from the world around you, while everyone else is just getting the megabytes.
Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine the average brain has a really strict bouncer at the door of a nightclub. He only lets in the basics, small talk, the grocery list, everyday stuff. But your brain has an open door policy. It lets everything in for high-level analysis. Now, to keep your biological hard drive from completely overheating, your brain has to run a data pruning cycle later on. And that's why you forget the small stuff. It's not an accident. It's being strategically deleted to make room for what really, truly matters.
So if your brain is constantly clearing out data, what's the actual benefit? What are the hidden advantages of having this so-called leaky memory? Let's get into the good stuff.
Well, seeing the world in this kind of high definition leads to three pretty remarkable advantages. First up, superior problem solving. Because you've soaked in so many details, when a crisis hits, your brain isn't stuck on why did this happen. It's already connecting all these different data points to figure out, okay, how do we fix this? You're wired for action. Second is the ability to hit these effortless flow states. You might get so absorbed in what you're doing that hours feel like minutes. Some people call it time blindness. And third, and this one is a real game changer, is something called creative far transfer. This is that rare ability to see a pattern in one area, like say music, and apply it to something totally different, like a business strategy. Your mind is just built to see the deep structure of things, not just the surface.
So here's the bottom line, the most important takeaway. Your forgetfulness isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's simply the price of admission for the incredible ability to see the world in high definition, to analyze patterns, solve complex problems, and innovate in ways that most people just can't.
Okay, so let's shift from the theory to the practical. How do you stop fighting your own biology and actually start working with your brain's unique OS?
Here's a really simple three-step toolkit. First, use what's called the production effect. If something is absolutely vital, say it out loud. Seriously, I am putting my keys on the hook. By vocalizing it, you create a much stronger memory trace. Next, embrace restorative nothingness. Your brain needs downtime to do that data printing, so stop trying to fill every single empty moment and just let your mind idle. And third, use the why filter. Only focus on remembering things that have a clear, logical reason behind them. Your brain is built for deep understanding, not for memorizing random empty script. And finally, maybe most importantly, let's talk about what this all means for how you see yourself, for your identity.
Let's be crystal clear about this. You are not scatterbrained. You are a strategist. You're operating on a deeper level in a world that is frankly obsessed with surface details. You're just built different.
So what's the ultimate takeaway here? I want you to start seeing yourself as the eye of the storm. You move through all the chaos and the noise by simply refusing to carry it all with you. You aren't losing your mind, you are carefully, strategically pruning away the unimportant to design a life of real depth, of focus, of meaning. That is your superpower.